Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite improvised pack frames, the Roycroft Pack. So first of all, let's discuss why you need to improvise a pack in the wilderness. Well, first of all, you could have a malfunction with your primary pack. You could have something simple like a strap rip loose. The whole body of your pack could rip through. You could either snag on a sharpened stick, or you could have been carrying rocks, firewood, something that your pack was not originally designed for, and it just wasn't up to the task. In that situation, all the gear that's in your pack, you have to figure out some way to carry it through the woods. And that's where an improvised pack comes in. Another great reason to improvise a pack frame would be, in this case, it's summer months, I travel pretty light. I usually just use a haversack. If I decide to up it and carry a blanket and maybe a larger tarp than what I'm carrying right now, now I have a bedroll to carry. Now I can sling that on my shoulder. I have done that. It's not really that comfortable for me. So in that case, I like to incorporate my haversack into the improvised pack and tie my bedroll on the bottom. So the Roycroft is pretty simple to manufacture in the wild. It is basically a triangle. So I'm going to be looking for two uprights from armpit to fingertip length, maybe thumb size in diameter. And I am going to find a slightly larger stick, approximately the width of my lower back, plus two hands. There's plenty of candidates around here. It can be green, it can be dead, but you do not want any rot at all to it. So it's still got to be strong enough to carry your intended load. So off this fresh wind-blown maple, I got my two uprights, and again I am armpit to fingertip. The diameter on these are approximately the same, and you know, for my woods this is pretty straight. So these are going to be my uprights. So for my lower piece that's going to actually make contact with my back, I'm going to want a little bit larger diameter. I am going to want to go to the 1 inch, you know, close to the 1 1/4 inch diameter. Now a lot of people split those in half. I have done that before. I've got some Roycrofts that I've been using on and off for maybe like 5 years or so. So this is not just a one-time throw it away thing. You can put more time in it and make it nicer, and you know, you can keep the thing. But on my lower back piece, if you can find a stick that has a slight curvature, they're going to be a lot more comfortable. I think I have a candidate here behind me, and I'm going to be using one of my uprights to measure the stick. So again, I'm going to put my hand, full hand, on the end of the stick. I'm going to go across my lower back, and I'm going to mark this. And at the end of where my palm is, that's going to be my cut line on my lower back piece. So I'm going to go ahead and make a notch real quick, just nick the bark. I'm going to peel all the bark off anyway. So I've got my fresh mark on my woodland measuring stick. And right here behind me, you know, I was eyeing this up as soon as I got into the woods today. This looks like a pretty decent one. I'm going to go ahead and harvest this piece of wood, and I'll see if it works out or not. So in its rawest form right now, I have everything I need. I have my two uprights, and then I'm going to lash my bottom piece on. And you know, this is the top, this is the bottom, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to dress these up a little bit. I am going to peel the bark. It helps the stick dry out. This probably blew down in the spring, this maple that I harvested this off of, so this still does have a little bit of moisture in it. So peeling the bark is going to make it look a little bit better, but primarily it's going to let it dry and make the lightest, strongest pack that I can get. So we can see how it's darker under the bark. So this does have quite a bit of moisture in it. you know, and the back of the spine does a really good job is cleaning this off, and it conserves my edge. I'm also going to use the baton or the knife itself and just get through these little knots. So it is important to get all the knots off, and also I'm going to take my knife and just camphor the ends off, round this off. You know, any jagged edge that could possibly catch you, you want to get rid of. So this is going to be the piece that goes across my lower back. I am going to go ahead and debark the entire thing, and you see how it's got a bend to it. Now I have had luck in the past, you know, just batoning right through this and making half of the diameter of this. That way it gives me a nice flat to go across my back. I think I'm going to try that again today. Hopefully the grain of the wood is going to split at an angle just like this. So I'm not going to really try to go through half, maybe about 2/3. So I can see it starting to run off a little bit. I am going to, you know, torque the knife in, try to get a little deeper bite. And we are batoning at the grain curve. So we didn't just go right through the thing. Now I don't have a straight piece of wood to worry about. Okay. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. That is maybe 1/4 of the diameter, maybe 1/3, but closer to 1/4 removed. Now I have a nice flat surface that's going to be against my back. I'm going to go ahead and debark this using the 90-degree spine. Okay, now not only am I going to camphor the end of this, I'm also going to run my knife down the entire edge to break this hard 90. So I'm going to go ahead and round this with the blade of my knife, because that will be in contact with me. So none of that was necessary if all I was going to be doing was making a quickie Roycroft pack to carry some firewood to camp, then take the pack off and let it rot. I'm going to be using this for an extended period of time, as I'm going to be doing some testing with the Roycroft pack. So I wanted this to look a little nicer, and I wanted it to last a little longer. Now we're going to be ready to go ahead and lash it together. So I've got 36 bank line. I'm going to be using 1.5, so this is probably 9/10 foot. I'm going to start on one of the uprights. I'm going to come down about 4 fingers, and I'm going to be making a clove hitch. I've got a couple of videos on tripod lashing. I do use tripods quite a bit out here. So this is just going to be the same thing. It's going to be 2-stick instead of a 3-stick. So I've got my clove hitch tied on one of the sticks. The sticks are level and where I want them to be. So now I'm going to wrap both sticks. I'm going to go one, going to go around twice. Alright, so I went around 3 times, and now I'm going to go between the sticks. This is going to be the frapping. And it does not go easy if you've tied it tight. So I'm going to go up from the bottom. That's one. It's going to be 3 wraps around. Alright, that's 3 wraps around. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off with another clove hitch. So I'm going to make an X. Come up from the bottom. Feed it under the X. Okay, dress everything up. And give it a good pull. And I was a little long on my string. Now when this opens up, that's going to put pressure on this lash, and it's really gonna hold well for us. Okay, so flat side is going to be towards me. So I'm going to lay this on the log. So this is, we're looking at what's going to be the bottom of the pack right now. Now I want to go about 2 fingers on each end. So I want to go about 2 fingers from the end and about 2 fingers from the end here also. And then what I'm going to do is use my saw, and keeping the same angle, I just want to score light lines on either side of the pole. And that's just going to mark it for now. I'm going to be 2 fingers from the end, 2 fingers from the bottom, and then holding the same angle as the wood is going on, the uprights. I'm going to go ahead and mark that with my saw. Inside and outside. Now I have the angle, the same angle as my uprights are going to be. So I'm going to cut myself 2 narrow V-notches, 1 on each side. That's going to let the stick settle in to the lower bar and allow me to wrap it a whole lot tighter. So one thing you are doing with this is you are weakening your board. You never want to go more than 1/3 of the diameter of your board. Now you got to keep that in mind when you're flattening out the side that goes against you, as well as when you're making your U or your V notch to set the upright. Alright, so I'm going to measure up 2 fingers on my upright, make sure it's placed properly. And again, I'm going to start with a clove hitch, and I am going to go under, over, and under. So I went under and over 3 times. I went over the upright, under the backboard. Now I'm going to go between the, see the line here? Kind of hard to see. Going to go between the backboard and the upright. Going to do that 3 times. And I'm going to pull it about as tight as I can get it. So I've got maybe a 1-foot-long tail here. I got my 3 wraps, my 3 fraps. I'm going to finish again with a clove hitch on the upright.
So I'm going to make an X, go through the X, and then dress the knot.
Alright, so this has been the Roycroft pack build. You know, it's a super strong pack, super simple to build, and this has been a deluxe version. So you could do this a lot easier. I'll probably show like a hasty Roycroft in another video. I've got one pimped out way more than this. I'll show you how to really upscale it. I'll show you how to pack it, and as far as strap options, that's kind of what I wanted to get into with this. I'm going to be rucking this Roycroft pack with approximately, you know, a 25-30 pound pack. I haven't quite decided yet. With all the different Roycroft improvised pack straps that I can think of. So let me fill you in. A lot of them are going to suck. It's going to be pretty awful, but it's something I want to put the research and time into and see what actually works instead of just reading about it. So we'll pack this thing up. I'll show you all the different carry options, what you can do with it, what you can't do with it, and we'll really make it deluxe in another video.